Welcome, fellow travelers, to another episode of the Never Ending Adventure podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Russell Tyndall, also known as DJ Russ T, as some people seem to like to call me. I get that a whole lot, Ned. I tell you what,
just from everybody.
All my friends, my mom calls me that now. It's really weird.
Did your mom actually calls you DJ Russ T?
No, not at all. No one calls me
I love that.
No one calls me it. Not even in the Discord. No one calls me that, and I'm so okay with that. Because we all know how I feel about Rusty. But Ned, welcome. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's a nice, cozy, rainy Sunday. Good day for like podcasting, and as long as we don't lose power over here.
Right. Same here. We've had 4 separate tornado warnings this past week. It's been really wild, and lots of flooding going on. This is a fun episode. This grease monkey over here, me and Ned are grease monkeys this episode. We're not really DJs. I don't know why we introduce ourselves. Do you have a grease monkey name? Start thinking about that.
My name would probably be like Grease Monkey Dirty Thumbs or something like that.
Oh, okay. Ew.
Dirty Thumbs Grease Boy.
Why are you dirty thumbed?
I don't know, because when you get all grease monkey, your hands get all greased up.
Yeah, I'm grease monkey Rusty. I think it kind of works for that as well. I don't know, Rusty Bolts or something. Oh, there you go.
Rusty Bolts.
I feel like Rusty Bolts is a thing or a person.
Yeah. I probably don't look that up. That sounds like a porn star name. Absolutely.
That does. And a really unfortunate one. This is this grease monkey's first podcast as a married man, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, you gotta be more of a grease monkey now that you are your husband Russ, Daddy Russ.
Do you grease monkey less? Do you become less of a grease monkey as you become married and deeper into
absolutely
husbandry?
Not.
No?
You get more grease monkey. You got to fix the things in the house now.
But I think you can't be called a grease monkey like BMO. Like BMO is our grease monkey this episode, if you're wondering why we're going in this. Oh, also, we're talking about we fixed the truck this episode. So
if we didn't talk about that already, I feel like you could draw the conclusion there.
Why are we tangenting? I'm all jacked up on a new energy drink that tastes like mimosas. I'm not an energy drink guy. Allie's mom just gave us a whole bunch of them. So I'm like, I'm not going to waste them.
Oh yeah, I'm a probably toxic energy drink guy. It's more like I'm a gas station treats guy. I love going and getting myself a little gas station treat.
Oh yeah.
Big on the 0-cal energy drinks out there.
Gross, so gross. Ned, what have you ever fixed a truck? Have you ever taken a vehicle? It feels like a rite of passage. You know, it's just like a thing that you got to do at some point. Is fix a car.
I watched my dad. My dad was a grease monkey, and he had a '65 Mustang convertible that he bought when he was 15 years old, and he still has it to this day. So a lot of my growing up was spent at like 9 p.m. Hey, I need you to come hold the flashlight. Like very stereotypical. Like, hold your flashlight while your dad tells you you're holding the flashlight too wrong.
There you go.
And I'd watch him do it. I know I didn't really absorb any of that information. I was always just out there like, you're doing your thing. But it kind of encouraged me not to do that. I watched him pump hundreds, probably tens, if not hundreds of thousands into that car, like over the years.
Right.
And
but you are a car guy. Like, in my mind,
really.
No, you're a car guy because of the car you used to drive. What did you drive in college?
An 07 Mustang from when I was age 16 until I was 31 or 30.
And it was a little flashy. Let's be real.
Yeah, it was really cool to have as a 16, 17, 18-year-old and like kind of into college. And then definitely I had to, I probably lived out of that Mustang. Like all of my possessions I had when I moved to Los Angeles
could fit into that car. Los Angeles, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, no, not like in college. No, when I moved to LA, like
Ned, you've never been living out of a car in your life.
No, not living out of a car. All of my possessions that I took to the West Coast for like 10 months, I could fit everything I owned into a little tiny Mustang. So
that's fair.
All that said, I when it comes to fixing it up or fixing the little problems, I'm kind of like, I know myself. I don't have a huge garage with a bunch of tools. I don't have things ready to go. And I'm like, I'm going to put so much time or investment into doing a little fix like that, where if I just sent this over to the Ford dealership or the Toyota dealership, I'm going to spend significantly less time. They're going to do a better job. and I may pay a little more out of pocket, but I'm not going to go set up a grease monkey garage in my garage.
No, it's so impossible to do. And I know that firsthand because my stepfather is very much a grease monkey. He is a master technician, or he was at Honda for a long time. And then he's done his own stuff. He literally built a garage with a car lift and everything in his new house that my mom and him have, like in the middle of nowhere, Georgia. So he is a car guy. I mean, similar thing. I have helped him with cars, but my mindset has always been that of Ice King in this episode, where I'm like, dude, I don't have the time or the patience or the care. I am not a car guy. It's too confusing. There are way better things for me to be doing with my life, as Ice King literally says in this episode. And that's, look, nothing against cars. I think I do really wish I knew more about it, because we've had a number of problems with Allie's car. Unfortunately, her father has that knowledge as well. But I've tried, man. And it just doesn't stick. It's just not a passion of mine.
Yeah, I will say I'm not the car guy, but I did, when I upgraded from my Mustang, I upgraded to a truck, one of the small like Toyota Tacoma trucks.
There you go.
And I can say, as this episode, because you're like, well, hey, we've got Jake Carr. We've got probably 15 different modes of magical / scientific ways to transport yourself. I also don't know why PB has not set up any sort of transportation systems for the candy people. She doesn't want them going too far away. So there's no cars. There's no like rail systems.
They got a walkable city, dog. Don't hate on that. Come on.
No, I love walkable cities.
I crave that. I need that.
But I can say, just from two instances, one had a call at like 11:45 one night, probably about 2 months ago. It was my neighbor he's a car guy. He has a Jeep and loves to like work on it. He goes out in the tiny little patch of woods by the creek behind our house. And he likes to just go off-roading in his Jeep.
Okay.
He calls me up at like 11:45 and it's just like, dude,
this is downtown Atlanta, y'all. This is off-roading in downtown.
Yeah, there's a little pathway that you can go like off-roading back by that creek. And he was like, dude, I'm stuck on a log. I need you to come pull me out. And so I went down there in my truck in the middle of the night, and he had like a little hitch thing, and I pulled him out, and I was like, God, that just feels so visceral, man. Like put it in 4-wheel drive and like pulling cars out. And I was like, dude, we should drink a beer right now. And I was like, I feel so toxically masculine right now. It's amazing.
Terrible.
And same with
the feeling. I know the feeling.
Yeah, you know the feeling.
It's, I don't know. Anyways, it's just not a high that I've ever searched after. One time, my dad, we need to get on this episode, dude. We are tangent.
Well, I'm talking about this episode in the sense that same feeling for me. I feel like that's why Finn rolls in with the truck. It's just like, I found a truck in the woods and we should fix it up, you know?
Yeah.
And I think it definitely has something to do. And the beauty of this episode is just like doing something with your hands that feels productive. That doesn't have to play into a bigger picture. It doesn't have to play into a bigger story. Like they're just having fun with each other. They're hanging out with their neighbor. It helps them bond with their neighbor until the very end of the episode.
No, I like this. We'll fast forward to my reflecting on this episode, actually, because I was thinking about the vibes of this episode. Again, this is We Fixed the Truck, season 5, episode 39. This doesn't feel like an episode of any other cartoon that I've ever seen. For most of this episode, the vast majority of this episode, like I'm sitting there questioning, is this good television?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but in the context of Adventure Time, it just makes sense. It just works for some reason. Like, it's very like slow movements. Like nothing's really happening. They're talking about fixing a car.
Like slow thumbs up, you know?
We spend so much time with Banana Man, who we'll get to in a minute, talking about cylinder heads and how they're a part of a car and how a car engine works and how, you know, like the air fuel mixture is created and then a spark plug fires and that creates an explosion and drives the pistons down. And that's how you're powering an engine and blah, blah, blah. That is not good cartoons in my mind.
That one scene specifically, it bugs me because it's like right there at the beginning of the episode, and it kind of bugs me a little bit because it gives off total Nick Jr. vibes of like, what's this in the background? And it's like this info. And I like that they call it out even. They have a little joke where Finn's like, dude, what's he pointing at?
What's he pointing
and he's like, so they're poking fun. And I think they did that on purpose again, like really to set the tone, the vibe that like this is this is the vibe of the episode. Kind of do a little tongue-in-cheek joke of like, we are still a kid's cartoon. Like we can do these little like weird, learn about an engine today, kids.
Here's what I like about it though. It's the slow moments that fill Adventure Time that allow you to the viewer to settle into the world, and it helps develop what's happening around the lives of the characters within the show. I immediately thought of manga title pages, especially I'm going to bring up the one I'm reading right now, One Piece, of course. But they're canonical stories within the One Piece universe where it's just like, here's a blurb of another character that we talked about like chapters ago. And here's a little side quest they're going on, or like, here's the main characters, not within the main story that's happening right now, but just doing a fun little side quest with some animals that you've never seen in this world before. And they're beautiful and it's so fun. And that's what I love that this episode is doing. It feels like here's a random side quest that our characters went on this episode, and it does nothing for the ultimate story other than it helps build the world of Adventure Time. And it really works for the show for some reason.
Yeah. Well, and it's also a big thing with these chiller episodes. Again, what I almost consider this to be a treehouse episode.
Sure.
Like, we're at the treehouse, things are moving slow, and I like to look at these, and even from like just a Finn, Jake, BMO perspective, we get Banana Man joining them in this, but that they aren't just on this pursuit of dungeon. If it was only dungeon crawling, if it was only saving princesses, if it was only fighting monsters, then they would become a lot less three-dimensional characters. They would be very two-dimensional. Finn just likes fighting bad guys, which is what season 1, felt a lot like. And when he's 11 in season 1, you are less of a three-dimensional person. And in this one, it's just like, their adventure for this weekend is just like hanging out with their neighbor, fixing up a truck. And that's all it needs to be. It doesn't have to always be. Of course,
it does build into a bigger thing.
We toss it in. We have an Adventure Time moment. There's a monster. Finn comes up with an idea, saves the day. So we get that
monster, crazy lizard conspiracy theory monster. And that's such a fun thing that we can get into. But I got to talk about my boy. This episode was really fun for me because one of my favorite artists of all time is obviously Banana Man, the voice actor for Banana Man, as you know, from season 3's The New Frontier, which is the first appearance of Banana Man, is Weird Al Yankovic, which as a kid, I think I've talked about this before, like in late elementary school, like middle school, my stepbrother brought over a DVD of his music videos.
Yeah.
And I watched it so many times. I don't even know how many times I've watched Amish Paradise.
I watched
The
Amish
Saga
Paradise
Begins,
a lot.
Dude, Jurassic Park, Dare to Be Stupid. Like, it opened up a world of rock music that I wasn't even aware of. And it's the reason why bands like Ninja Sex Party are some of my favorite artists today in general, is because comedy rock was, in my mind, kind of created by Weird Al. And that may not entirely be true, but it feels like it's true. And I literally was in a record store yesterday and saw a polka album, which, if you don't know, Weird Al kind of got his start in polka in a way, with the last name Yankovic. And I was like, is there more to Weird Al than we know? Like, are they related in some way? Maybe, maybe not. But either way, yeah, it was like polka comedy rock initially, which is just ridiculous. But so I loved that we got Banana Man back. I was so excited for his reappearance, and he immediately kicks it off with just the greatest little guilt trip. Like, oh, hey, how's it going? Y'all, haven't seen you guys since you destroyed my home, my land, my rocket, my world.
I am shocked that like fans like, oh yeah, I forgot about it. Like they don't really seem as guilty as they should.
Oh, they don't care. They don't care at all, man. But anyways, I mean, he's just like a favorite little side character of mine that happens to live within Adventure Time and got a sequel episode, got to pop back up again. And it was so fun to hang out with him for 15 minutes.
Well, do you want to, in my deeper thought, theoretically speaking of this episode, I think that I have a Banana Man theory that I want to see if it resonates with you too. So we see that all the banana guards are taller than Banana Man, and they have kind of like more of like a chocolate thing on their head, but none of them have like stems, right? None of them have like the top stem of a banana on their heads. And Banana Man's short and has the stem. I'm thinking
and
that,
smart. I mean, that's the other thing. He is way smarter than all the other ones.
Smarter. And also we saw that when we had the episode with Choco in there and the banana guards were green, but they were full bananas, that at some point the banana guards, as they grew, as they became like less green, more yellow, they were becoming smarter, that PB needs her civilians to be a little bit more like, don't ask questions. I'm a fascist leader, like no uprisings, no revolts, that she started chopping off the brains of the banana guards.
Oh.
And that Banana Man is like the sole survivor of this banana guard massacre. And that he's technically like the brain part of a banana. And he became his own like self. It ended up escaping. And that's why he lives close to the Candy Kingdom. He lives on his own. And he's super smart and into like mechanics and things like that.
I like it. That's some fun house canon. Like,
yeah, I love that one.
No, I think that's really great. He stands out from all the banana guards, and though he is this, and we see they kind of go and try and set him up terribly. Don't ever do this. Try and like hype up your buddy to a female banana guard at the front of the Candy Kingdom, because he's pointed out, BMO mentions like, oh, why aren't you with someone? Why don't you have a significant other? You're so lonely or whatever. And that plays into, he sings this wonderful song, which I will say one of my favorite songs of this season. I'll have to go back through and see what other songs we've been through already. But
a lot of season 5 will have a lot of music. Yeah.
Hanging Out Forever. Again, it's Weird Al. So I'm so partial to it.
It holds a special place in your heart regardless.
Definitely.
It's Weird Al.
I love the overlay of the vocal pattern where they have these backing vocals that are saying like board games, Friday nights, best friends, pillow fights. Like something about that just fits so well with the hanging out forever that he keeps doing over and over again. So and it gave me the best day ever SpongeBob vibes.
Oh yeah. And this was probably, I mean, this was definitely way after best day ever for sure.
But also this is Banana Man's best day ever. Like, and maybe one of BMO's as well, because BMO's finally a part of it. He's like, BMO's all jacked up, dude. He's like, I'm going to get some more batteries. I'm going to be a grease monkey, and I'm going all night long with fixing this car.
Yeah. BMO's line is, this grease monkey's all torqued up on automotive science.
It's so good. It's so good. Yeah. Oh man. I love that whole moment. Sorry, because that even gets into my lovely of this episode.
Oh,
but it doesn't flow very well.
Give me some sugar, baby.
Yeah, Starchy makes an appearance. How is Banana Man not my lovely? Starchy makes an appearance. How is BMO not my lovely? Starchy makes an appearance. And Starchy has a 5-hour conspiratorial radio talk show, The Graveyard Shift. That's hilarious. That adds to Starchy's character in such a way.
You'll start to realize too, Starchy's behind a lot of, I think we realized Starchy's been around since the first episode of the show ever.
Oh yeah.
But that Starchy is probably one of the biggest doubters of PB. So conspiracy theories, back alley deals, something's going on. Let's stir up the crowd in the riot. Like Starchy's behind a lot of that too. So the fact that he's leading this, I love the late night shift is also inspired in a reference to Coast AM, which is a talk and call-in show which frequently deals with paranormal and conspiracy topics, including Dave Icke's reptoid hypothesis. So the reptilian stuff, I think this really came from the Coast AM talk show. So they all kind of play into that being a real life thing.
Freaking the reptilian conspiracy theory things, man. I can't. I do think it's really funny that it actually is real in this episode. Like, Princess Bubblegum, a banana guard calls in. The banana guard's like, so I heard from a friend who's higher up in the government. And of course, again, just the way banana guards, like the tone, the way they speak, the way that their brain processes situations, I do think, going back to what you were saying about Banana Man, like there's a difference there. There's definitely something happening there. But regardless, they are talking about Princess Bubblegum's been replaced by a lizard person, which is ridiculous. Should not be a plot in this episode. Like, why is that even a thing? Why is that making me go, if this is, and this is not my theoretically speaking, but if there's a theoretically speaking for me, it's maybe like, let's not do that. like maybe because Princess Bubblegum even like admits to it. They're like, the lizard people are taking over, whatever. Let's not have this show turn into lizard folk taking over the Candy Kingdom, and this is a reoccurring theme. I don't want that to happen. But
yeah, and you say like reoccurring theme, like that they are reptilian.
That's
things.
where we're going with the show. I don't want that to be the case. But it's kind of my theory. I don't want it. I don't think.
Yeah, it was more like I don't think we even go deeper. Right? Yeah, this is kind of like a one-off instance for sure. And there's not reptilians, and the monster that like PB turns into is reminiscent of like some other monsters. I can't remember if we've already seen them or we will see them down the road. There are other monsters. It's kind of a dragon-esque. Like they very much draw like dragons and reptiles with a little bit of like not really what we consider reptilian per se. Mm-hmm. So it's definitely, I would call it more of like a dragon type beast than a reptilian.
Sure. But yeah, I mean, it becomes this massive monster, or Princess Bubblegum becomes this massive monster at the very end, and they defeat it by turning the car into a Beyblade and going off a ramp, which is ridiculous. Up.
Yeah.
But and I love that BMO's the one who's like, I'm into these conspiracies. Jake is saying, dude, you're crazy. Don't think about it. And he's like, hey, eat this bug. And that's what,
again, I think that might have been my tops of the episode was like, whoa, they believe you're reptilian. And BMO's just like, eat this bug. It just totally changes the tone right there.
Yeah, it's good. So talking about conspiracies, I wanted to do a little, I mean, you know, Ned, we are always introducing new segments, and I know you love every one of them. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to talk conspiracy with you for a little bit as sort of a tangent, I suppose.
Yeah, graveyard shift.
This is our graveyard shift. Yeah. Oh, welcome everybody to the Ned and Russell Graveyard Shift NAA podcast edition. The new segment is conspiracy theories our partners hate, as opposed to ones that they love, ones that they believe. Here's some conspiracy theories. I don't know did you end up getting to talk to Jackie, or are we doing Ned's conspiracies?
This is going to be, it's going to be mine.
Okay. So I got Allie's, Ned's got his. We're going to do countdown from 5. Number 5 for Allie, conspiracy theories that she hates. It's a conspiracy that cryptids are a conspiracy. So she hates the idea that cryptids get grouped into conspiracy theories, like such as Loch Ness and Bigfoot and Sasquatch.
Oh yeah, you know, that they somehow expand. You're like, you can believe in one thing without it being like this. Right.
I think it's the idea government's that those are
hiding Sasquatches.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just in her mind, you know, they're cryptids. They're real or not real, depending on the specific cryptid.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
What's your number 5, bud?
So you wanted ones that I hated or my favorite ones? Because I can go back. I don't know if I have 5 that I hate per se.
Then I'll go and just.
I'm still thinking. So I've got 3 pulled up. If we're gonna go top 5 here, like I don't like the reptilians theory. Like
yes. Yeah,
I think that's my number 5. Is reptilians. It seems always kind of silly, and most all the time I'm like, oh, it's kind of interesting, but like the evidence you're going off of here is a camera mishap at a celebrity show, or Katy Perry's like makeup getting stuck, and they're like, oh, she's a reptilian because she like blinked weird. Like
her eyes, yeah. So that's number 3 for Allie, snake/reptile or reptilian people. Number 4 for Allie is she hates, and it's probably because I don't know. I can't speak for her, flat Earth theory is, and maybe Hollow Earth could also kind of fit into this to some degree. That's
usually usually the two are tied together. There's
flat
Earth
theory is rough, and it's the people that believe in flat Earth theory, I think, kind of go hand in hand for her a little bit. But flat Earth theory is number 4. Number 2. Life is a simulation is
I don't hate that one though. It wouldn't be my top favorites, but I don't hate that one.
You like that one? Here's the issue. The issue is life is a simulation breeds narcissism. I think it leads people to think like I'm the main character, I'm the only one that matters. Other people don't matter, and that's an NPC. Like who cares what happens to them?
It breeds the NPC mentality.
Really negative mindsets. And really high narcissism in people. And so that's kind of like, I think where that starts, but even just if you're thinking life is a simulation, then what you do doesn't matter. And that's not good, you know? So that's number 2 for
I would say, flat Earth for me was probably be like number 4, number 3-ish for me too. And yeah, since I don't have 5, I'll call like Hollow Earth, and that is also like a consideration there too.
Yeah,
I think in my number 1, and again, if I can think about a number 2, I will. But number 1 would probably be like QAnon.
Interesting.
That there's one person in the deep state that's like leaking conspiracies about the deep state to Reddit threads and 4chan threads, and that these people like go on and believe that like one person is in the government fueling this like far right extremist group. I hate that, because it's just like, I'm sure there's something weird going on with government. I'm sure we'll never know, but to simplify it that much,
I think my issue is the conspiracy theories really easily become political, and like Pizzagate or something like that. It's like, well, we literally found out that Jeffrey Epstein was kind of doing that, and we just all forgot. Like, so there are things that immediately become conspiratorial. Number 1 for Allie immediately become political. And I think for me, at least personally, my favorite conspiracy theories aren't political ones. And I'll talk about my top 3 favorites, but the Egyptian pyramids were built by ancient aliens, and truly anything ancient aliens for her is a no-go. So like
that's a least favorite is ancient aliens.
Oh yeah. Think like History Channel, anything History Channel, like ancient aliens did this, did that. The issue, I mean, one of the many issues with the Egyptians where Egyptian pyramids were built by ancient aliens is it discredits humanity of that time and the sacrifice that people went through, the technology that they had. They weren't dumb. They were just as smart as we were, but they didn't have the knowledge that we had or the scientific principles that we have in order to create the things that we are able to create, so it's like, it just, it discredits humanity in such a major way. So it's the number 1.
Yeah. I like the flip, like one of my favorites, because I love all ancient Egypt stuff's just weird, and it's easy to just be like, well, it has to be aliens, and I think it's a bit dismissive.
I think it's fascinating. Like, if you can take out History Channel and the way that they perceive ancient aliens, I love the like Scooby-Doo were visited by aliens and then they disappeared and gave us like a compass. Like, that's fun. Yeah. But like past that, I think it's dangerous.
No, I think more of the pyramids and the ancient Egypt stuff that I love is the fact that they keep dating things back to where, okay, like the pyramids are not actually from 3200 BC. They're actually from like 9000 BC. They're like, there's more that's coming out and more that they're finding that just keeps predating and predating and predating. And I think that just goes along with that. Humanity is a lot older than we give history credit for, and how much a loss of technology could totally wipe out a planet and wipe out. I mean, if humans weren't around, I think they said for like 10,000 years, anything that's like not stone would have basically like disintegrated. So there would be no evidence of houses and metals and metal structures and beams. All of it would have disintegrated except for like what stays in stone. And so that's cool. I like that ancient Egypt theory, is that actually like humanity did have a peak before our modern history.
Right.
That all of it is totally
not necessarily tied in with aliens. So
not tied in with aliens at all. Is that like humanity had progressed to this?
That's cool. I like that.
Technologies that we don't understand, having to do with like, energy from the sun and vibrations to move stones, all that kind of stuff.
Mayan calendar or whatever. Not that that's a conspiracy, but you know what I'm saying. My favorite ones are Paul McCartney is dead.
That's on my list. Paul McCartney and Avril Lavigne are dead.
Yeah, I don't really care about Avril Lavigne personally, but I get
I like the Paul McCartney one though.
Paul McCartney being dead is freaking wild, especially given his career after his death. Dumb. Yeah. But it freaks me out a little bit. Beyonce is in charge of the Illuminati. I don't really think the Illuminati. I think she's in charge of the entertainment, like a cult.
I have that. I literally have New World Order / but Beyonce Illuminati stuff for sure is what I wrote down. That somehow the Illuminati is a group of elites that get to pick who also get to be elite in this entertainment world.
Yeah, I think it's just the idea that like you have to say thank you to Beyonce at any given award ceremony.
Oh, it's like a dead giveaway.
Whatever she does, you got to say, "Oh man, what an incredible country album that didn't matter." Exactly. Regardless. So I love that. I think that's really fun. And then this isn't a conspiracy, but like I also really love scientific principles and theories such as like the great filter theory. I think is really fascinating and kind of talks a little bit to what you're saying with the maybe in human history 10,000 years ago that we don't know about, whatever. Uh, and it doesn't really apply, but like maybe we hit a moment where we had to take a step backwards, like a major step backwards and go into the Bronze Age or something like that. The Great Filter Theory technically is about like humanity reaching or aliens reaching a point to where they either get through the filter, which doesn't happen, or you hit the filter and then it wipes out all of civilization,
I mean, they were there. I mean, that's whether it's aliens or whether it's people, again, could have weaponized
or
something and destroyed every. Yeah, it could be AI, like, or again, just the one that would be like, hey, they created some sort of weapon that would have wiped out the world's population to an extent to where all technology, everything was lost. People went and became nomadic, and then that's where we have our modern history pop up more with like even like what you would call the start of Christianity, like starts with Adam and Eve, and it's like two people in this one zone, and then and it's like, oh yeah, like that makes sense if that's like the way that a certain people group said, hey, here's how the world started. Here's how the world started. And
maybe,
everybody,
but I do wonder, it's not like there's a hole in, I mean, there are holes in the fossil record, but I don't think there's one close enough to where we wouldn't see like human skeletons. Anyways, I don't know. That's a different podcast. Can we get back to Adventure Time?
Yeah, I'd say the only other fun ones that I want Starchy to talk about is this crazy stuff goes on in Antarctica. And I always love watching videos of like, why are we researching stuff? Why is it like so not public? What's going on? Like what's under the ice? Like I love that stuff for sure.
Right. You're real. The Nazis have a secret base under the ice in Antarctica.
I'm more to like, there's something under the ice that multiple countries have decided,
it's alien,
we all need to like put our differences aside and research this together. And put our efforts together. It's the only thing that you see like multiple countries, not just like trying to land grab for things. They're just like, hey, keep people out. Only send specific scientists here. It's kind of crazy to me. And I love every alien theory that like goes a little bit like transcendental, like, oh, the spaceships and stuff are actually just like humans 10,000 years from now that have actually figured out technologies not to like time travel, but to like tap into a third eye brain level, and they're like remote viewing the past, and that's why things like don't follow gravitational rules, is that it's actually like basically people going in more in transcendental. I love that kind of like aliens are humans but like so beyond like our understanding. I like that kind of stuff. So that's enough for Graveyard Shift in this episode.
We're way too deep in the
no, it's a fun one. It's a fun one. This is such a fun vibey episode. Right. And getting back to it, what you loved the Weird Al song.
Sure.
I think one of the best parts and what sets the vibe is the like electro.
I know.
Well, the electro pop. No, you keep interrupting me, Russell. You're interrupting me today. I can't even get a word out, man.
It's Hot Daniel. You like Hot Daniel? It's okay.
Well, I like Hot Daniel, but the song, but the second song, the montage song, that's like this electro pop. It's got like a little like
right,
and it's like a really great keyboard synthesizer. And that's what gets me into the episode, where you really get to like feel the weight into the chair, and you're like, oh, I'm like really relaxed. And this is really cathartic watching them just fix a truck. And so that's what the Banana Man song kind of makes me a little anxious, because he doesn't quite hit like the rhyme scheme too well. And some of the things are offbeat. And sometimes that messes up like a type A music personality in me, but that's why I like the vibey electro.
It's so funny. One. I feel the opposite way. I feel like the vibey electrical one gives me anxiety, because it wasn't, I didn't find it soothing.
That's weird.
I found the harmonies and the vocal overlay and the way that Weird Al chooses not to go further with best friend pillow fights, because there should be, in my mind, the melody should da 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 da, or some like extra thing at least one time, because he repeats it twice, but he doesn't. He chooses not to. It feels like an intentional choice. So I kind of really enjoyed that a whole lot. But I get it, man. Like they fixed. It was a cool montage. They fixed a pretty great truck that BMO makes aerodynamic. They make a convertible for some reason, which we need more convertible trucks.
Convertible trucks. We've got push to start. We've got hot tea on the engine. Like
that's my tops. I love.
Oh, that. Tops is that they're cooking. They got a freaking cast iron stove up there. Like,
I'm such a tea guy, dude. I mean, y'all know y'all got us a fancy tea set for what was that the wedding present? I think it was wedding present.
Yeah, it was like our wedding present, but we didn't get off the registry. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, I love that. I mean, I was like, I mean, I'm a big tea guy. I drink it literally 3-4 cups a day. So seeing that they had a stovetop and a kettle, and just like as Princess Bubblegum, the lizard woman, is in the back seat with BMO, they're able to brew up some tea for her and just, hey, take a chopo. Like we're cruising at 30 miles per hour. Pretty fast.
As you go to buy a next car in the future too, you're going to say, hey, that's going to be one of my absolute have to haves. I have to have a hot tea kettle somewhere optimized into the car.
Like hot liquid in the car. I've never figured out how to do coffee in the car without burning myself.
I never do coffee in the car if I can help it.
No, I mean, but Finn gets everything he wanted in this episode. He's like, I want to go 30 miles an hour, crank the wheel into a gnar right-hander, spray dirt everywhere like a hurricane dirt wave. Like he gets that. And they literally do that going into the Candy Kingdom or right before they talk to the Banana Guard. So, this thing wasn't going fast enough to jump off that ramp and kill the giant lizard monster at the end of this episode. But
maybe the spinning helped with the explosion aspect of it. It wouldn't have exploded.
How much biodiesel did they create? Like
I don't know, and it's not a lot, but obviously maybe it's really well optimized that they only needed a little bit of only a tiny bit of biodiesel.
Banana Man is a freaking rocket scientist. I mean, who knows? What he's truly capable of. But I thought that was great. They went to the Breakfast Kingdom, and Finn for some reason snuck up,
and he's like petting him on the head, like it's snuck up.
He's like, I mean, what is it? He's going to chloroform someone who's just like,
it was a very chloroform moment at this. But yeah, I mean, like, that's, I don't know if you would call that a lesson, but isn't it amazing that we can get to space just based on puff pastries, spa juices? Right.
Yeah. No, that is a great lesson or a great moment, certainly in this show. Anything's the Candy Kingdom is capable of anything, truly. I mean, I'm watching this hungry, and I'm starting to think about those trees. Those pink trees look like cotton candy.
Pink trees, good. Dude. I was watching. I'm hungry now too. Just thinking about fried pastry, like an empanada in a grease bath, and I'm like, oh, that does sound really nice right now.
Ridiculous. Did you see the candy heart person who had "Tug Me" written on them?
No, I missed that.
It was right at the end of the episode. I was
snuck that one in, didn't we?
I know. Instead of like "hug me" or something, and I'm sure it's not, an inappropriate thing, but my mind definitely was like,
we're getting on the border there.
I've never seen "Tug Me" in one of those candy hearts for Valentine's Day.
Yeah, just one box full of things to say, "Tug me," bop it, pull it, twist it.
Do you have, before we get into lessons, do you have any further thoughts on this episode? This is a very straightforward episode. I don't feel like there's too much.
Yeah, no, but it's straightforward, but I've mentioned this, I feel like, several times, and just in terms of Treehouse episodes and vibe episodes, where I don't know if it'll make top 5 of season 5, but it like definitely just has the moment of like, again, we're in Adventure Time enough. You're like, you've told me, you're like, I'm really looking forward to watching like the next episode. I'm looking forward to like getting more into this now. And it's always fun to get to these types of episodes and not just be like, oh, it's not a toss away episode anymore. Yeah. It's not. So like my lesson kind of, in a written out way. And then I've got some other fun lessons, but the big one is that I think Adventure Time often tackles huge cosmic ideas, but sometimes it pulls back and reminds you that magic can be in a song, a friend helping with a wrench, watching a machine come to life, that We Fix a Truck finds emotional resonance in the small, the quiet, and the real.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's good. That's really good. Man, I love that. I was reflecting as you were saying that, even on Banana Man, and how I'm downplaying this episode some, but like for Banana Man specifically, this is a big moment. And I hope he gets even external from this. Like, I hope he does find, whether it's a best friend, a Jake, or a partner like Tree Trunks, like finds someone that fulfills that desire for friendship and for companionship that he deserves. I mean, this is one of the big moments for him. I gotta say, it's probably for BMO too. BMO's super.
I think he found more of a friend in BMO than he did in Finn and Jake. And that's what, when BMO, I get that right on that vibe when BMO slaps the gold star back on Banana Man, and he's so happy about that. And that's a really good moment. And then we haven't even talking about just the heartbreaking moment at the end was that Finn's the one that stripped him naked.
I know
to do this plan. And that when he's getting taken off to jail, that there is like zero defense for Banana Man when Finn's just like, I'm sorry, I'm the one that took his clothes off. He could have just taken a little bit of a fall for Banana Man. I was very disappointed there.
BMO starts to interject, and Princess Bubblegum's like, oh, it's a minor offense. Like, don't even worry about it. And he's like, oh, I'm actually upset about Hot Daniel. Like he at the end, or BMO at the end of the episode wasn't even concerned for Banana Man. But I saw that as well. And I was like, it is such a bummer that this is sort of Finn's fault that Banana Man is going to jail or whatever is going to happen to him, or get a fine. Public indecency, and
didn't have his bail. It's one of those, what is it you call it, just like show tropes maybe, where like maybe Finn and Jake are like Banana Man's kryptonite, because every time he gets around them, something in his life is getting worse, whether it's his land destroyed, his house destroyed, his nice car he just built, now he's going to jail. That like he, as much as he wants a friend, Finn and Jake are like his bad luck charm.
Yeah. Gosh, I didn't even think about that. I mean, it truly is the second time in 2 episodes. He's 0 for 2.
Yeah, 0 for 2. And Finn and Jake really don't care about it. All they get is just the thumbs up at the end.
Right. So I do think my lesson for this was, and I think he went about this the right way, and I think there's a reason why he was so like, holy crap, we could be best friends. I think boys, and this is a bit of a stereotyping or whatever, like not always true, but I think boys bond best by building and breaking stuff, like by doing an activity together. From what I've found when I've built my closest relationships, it's been because we're on a baseball team or we're on a football team, a cycling team. Like we hang out, we talk, sure, but like we have a bonding activity, or we go and we like struggle and grow together. And that's the way that I think men, again, I'm being kind of broad.
It's fine. We totally, I mean, sure, you can say this is the generalization of it.
It feels like a great way to bond. And Banana Man, I think because of this, like building a truck together, like he's like, oh my gosh, we are bonding. This is such a great moment. And I do think, I think it stands true. Like, you bond with people that you do things with, that other than just like going and getting a drink. And
exactly. Well, you could expand that and say, even back to my original story about my neighbor, that bonding that happens when you're working with a group of 2 or more people, where there has to be a team effort. And that's just like, you could just call it, oh, guys just do really good at team bonding, or people do really good at team bonding.
Sure.
But kind of just that whole, like, we did something, we accomplished something. And I think the thing that the cathartic episode, part of the episode, is like when they're drinking their soda pop and they're all like leaning against the car, that you can finish a day and you're like, we worked together towards one common goal. And there is like the spoils of our labor. And doing that with people does create, I think that's a lot more of a bond than just to say something you could do by yourself, something like going and getting a drink, or hanging out or watching a movie. That there's a bond of like a common enemy is not the right word, but a common goal that has to be achieved through the power of friendship.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could do an activity together that has conflict, that has struggle, and come out successful, and have never said a single word. And like and I've had this before, I can't think of a good example, but like there's a connection that was just built. I mean, I've been doing CrossFit for a bit, plug, I guess I've been working out, big guy. Yeah. So masculine and muscular. But like there was a moment, there's a student at the gym that I've been wanting to like become friends with or whatever, but we just like never had anything to talk about. I mean, you're there for an exercise and then you get out. But then one day we kind of were forced to partner together because it was a partner workout. And after that, like the vibe shifted. Yeah, every time I saw him, I was just like,
that
"Hey man, how you doing?" Like all of a sudden, we're friends out of nowhere, you know. And it was because we suffered together for an hour on some random workout day, you know.
Well, and especially if it's like a partner and you have to have somebody to help you with that workout.
Yeah.
Like it's not just like, oh, we weren't just like running next to like even hiking. Like you can go hike on your own. You can go hike with a group of people. Not as bonding. As again, it is bonding in a way of like we accomplished something together.
Sure.
But I think
if it's like a hard hike, man, you know, like you could really bond with someone going up Mount Everest.
I'm saying as part of the lesson, I think it goes one step further too, in just being like outside of just hiking together. If it's something where like I wouldn't have been able to do this without the other person, and vice versa, and that becomes this mutually beneficial symbiosis relationship of we had to do this together, you know?
Yeah, definitely. My other lesson is pretty great. Never trust a lizard tongue. I think that's just the truest lesson I could really come up with for this episode. Never trust the lizard tongue.
My truest lesson was if you drive a truck, you got to be spraying huge Herkendirt waves.
Gotta be spraying huge Herkendirt waves, dude.
And if I take anything, I haven't had my truck for maybe more than like 2 years, and I was just like, it's definitely my Mustang was a girl, and it was named Cassidy.
Okay.
And I was like, I've never had a name for my truck. I think my truck's name's Hot Daniel.
Hot Daniel.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think it just got the inspiration today.
That's real good. I just call my Subaru the Sub. So
the Subs.
I don't really know. Yeah. Subaru Outback. Anyways, that's great, Dad. We have a traveler's log this episode. I think we should hop into that traveler's log before it gets too deep.
It's a nice, we were talking about the sludge in the episode, The Vault, and DJ G Money wrote in and said, hey, y'all, just listened to the Vault episode and got to thinking about the toxic sludge PB was covering. The sludge had to either be found in the Candy Kingdom expansion or made by PB like y'all theorized. You know this because we eventually see the pre-Kingdom location in Bonnie and Nettie. Not super spoiler here either, Russell.
Okay.
And the candy and the small Candy Town version of the kingdom in Bonnabelle Bubblegum with no toxic sludge in sight. The showrunners were too intentional at this point for this to be an oversight. I lean towards it being the spillover of PB experiments since she was so sketchy sometimes. So thank you, G Money, for writing into. And I love people being like, if we're exposing things that are like we're like you said, we're so far in, nothing's done unintentionally.
100%.
That we can get into some deep stuff like that for sure.
Yeah, that's so fascinating because I know we spent a little bit of time talking about it that day. I wonder what the intentionality is, or if it will ever be revealed to us, or if there's some way that we can find an interview about this episode. Because I want to know, or about that episode, The Vault. I want to know what was going on there. Why there was all that sludge going straight through the Candy Kingdom.
Yeah, because it doesn't necessarily come back up, and when we get to Bonnie and Nettie, we'll come back up to this conversation as well and kind of see. I want to get your thoughts when we kind of explore the start of the Candy Kingdom per se and how that plays back, and we'll reference the Vault back again there too. So thank you again, G-Mon, keeping it at the top of our minds so when we get to that episode down the road.
Yeah, dude, I wish I had a good answer for this. I really don't have a good answer, but I think it's such a fascinating concept. Like there's something there for sure. Because we are, I mean, as you point out, like we are way too deep into the show, and they have been so intentional about specific things throughout the past couple of seasons, where it doesn't feel like they're just kind of like, oh, this could be a throwback to, 50 episodes ago or whatever. Like it feels like they're setting things up for the future, even in episodes where it feels like it's we're fixing a truck or something silly, like that doesn't really matter, which is why I was like, maybe the lizard people will come up. I really hope not.
I don't think so.
They won't. That's fine. And I'm so happy with that. And it would be,
we get more of that mentality with a character we haven't talked about in a long time, Susan Strong, that opens up a lot more of a door.
She's got to come back.
Yeah. She's coming back for sure. Right. Super important character in the show.
So there are specific characters like Susan Strong that it just would make no sense if they didn't come back several times in the future. And that was one that, like, from the get-go, the way that Ben and Susan Strong kind of bonded her, they had that moment like, oh my gosh, you might be human. That tension you just knew this was going to be an important character eventually.
Yeah. And that's why I was like, oh man, I was like, I can't believe we're 39 episodes into season 5. And I was like, it has been a long time since we talked Susan Strong.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely. Ice King also making an appearance for like 7 words.
It's just them keeping the running joke that Gunter's still building the Ice Kingdom again. They're reminding the crowd. They're kind of time stamping this as like the reason we're not doing all these Ice King episodes is because he's hanging out without his powers in the treehouse.
Which good for him, man. Like he probably needs it. I'm sure
he's getting a lot of break from the crown. I think it's going to help. Like it probably helps him ground himself a little bit more with reality through season 5.
Oh, because if he had the crown and his madness peeking out, he would definitely be out there helping them with the car, despite knowing nothing about it, and would have ruined it in some way.
Yeah.
So
and I guess after we haven't gotten to we didn't do the Abracadaniel episode yet, right? Where Ice King becomes best friends with Abracadaniel.
I was
like, oh my gosh, I don't think we have done that one yet.
I want to say no.
So that's another good one. We kind of get the remainder of Ice King hanging out in the treehouse.
Cool. Well, y'all, thank you so much for joining us. We'll cut it at 50 minutes this week, but if you want more content, you want to join us for deeper conversations and also a little bit more of a podcast. We have a separate podcast we do specifically for the Patreon. Check us out on patreon.com/neverendingadventure podcast. You can join us on Instagram at Neverending Adventure Podcast, TikTok, Neverending Adventure Cast, Twitter at NEA_podcast. Email us your thoughts, your opinions. Get on the Traveler's Log. Please, please, please get on the Traveler's Log. That's one of our favorite reoccurring segments. That actually is a reoccurring segment. NEA.travelerslog@gmail.com. And that's Travelers with 1 L because we're American, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, that's fun. Anyways, Ned, what is your rec for this week, bud?
My recommendation is a movie that I watched a ton growing up, and we rewatched it again, and it's just it's a fun, good action thinker movie from the early 2000s, Limitless with Bradley Cooper.
Oh, yeah.
Where he takes the pill and it accesses 100% of his brain. Just a fantastic movie, man. I miss that genre of movie, I guess, between 2003 and 2010, where it was just low stakes, didn't have to blow up the box office, but they could write a really fun, good action story. And I feel like the first Transformers movie had that vibe. Limitless had that vibe. Some of the stuff that Tom Cruise did during those years, that there was just a lot of good, low stakes action movies that didn't have to blow budgets out of the water either, that they were just so phenomenal from that period.
Would Jumper be one of those as well?
Yeah, exactly. Jumper, we're creating this whole universe and we're exploring fun idea. What if somebody could jump from one place to another? Let's totally expand on one concept and make a really great movie out of it.
Yeah, I like that a lot. That's a good recommendation. I haven't watched that. Maybe I've seen it once, maybe twice. Sorry, I've definitely seen it once, maybe twice. But
yeah, go back and watch it. It's a super easy watch. I think it might have been free on Prime. So I don't know. That's a good fun one for this.
But also, we do use 100% of our brain, right?
No, we access only 20%, it's 20% of our brain.
That's not true.
In terms of, I think the possibility, it's not exactly how the movie goes, that where he takes the pill and he can remember every single thing that he's ever done. Your brain does erase things, when different neurons fire over that pathway. If they fire that pathway something different, then that's why you don't have that memory anymore.
Okay. Well, very cool.
What's your rec?
My recommendation, I've talked about this a couple of times as my rec, White Lotus. I'm on season 3 now. The finale of season 3 comes out tonight. I'm pretty excited for it. I know my mind is going to be blown. I don't know who died or why they died or what's going to happen to any of these characters. This season felt really cool, where you had the buildup of a lot of moments, a lot of tension, a lot of anything could occur. So yeah, I'm excited to see what happens, man. That's my rec for this is get in the White Lotus. It's worth it. It's not a murder mystery, but it feels like a murder mystery.
I'm waiting until it wraps this season, and then we're going to binge it for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's worth it. It's very good. Y'all, Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next week, hopefully, with another rousing adventure time episode.
A rousing episode. Yeah. We got it. We were talking about Tree Trunks' third wedding next week. So it's
fun. Yep. All right, y'all. Talk to me. Party forever.
Oh, let's go.